Hey everyone, today I'm making a guide for floor 12. Here's all my artifacts and stuff. Okay, so Kaching's build. Level 90, weapon, Black Cliff Longsword, artifacts, all alright I guess. Then Constellations is 0, and Talents is 878. Beto, level 80. Weapon is Prototype Archaic. Artifacts, none of them maxed out, besides 1 or 2. Constellations is 3. Talents is 6, 11, 8. Xing Chu. Weapon is a Sacrificial Sword. Artifacts. Constellations 1. Talents level 366. Xiaoling, level 80. Weapon Crescent Pike. Artifacts, the Witcher set. Constellation 1. Talent 777. Then we have Noel, level 70. Weapon White Blind. Artifacts, Gladiator 4-piece set, Constellation 2, and Talents 666. And then we don't have Child in here, and we got main character, Weapon Festering Desire, Artifacts, I kind of did him dirty a little bit. And then Constellation 6. And Talents is 478. Amber's build, level 70. Weapon Amos Bow. Artifacts, nothing really consistent, just they all had good substats. And then Constellations free. Talents 659. So floor 12 is a big DPS check. You want to have at least 1 cryo on each team and 1 fire character on each team. For me, I decided to go with Animo character just to decrease the elemental resistance of enemies to help my second team out with like having a little bit more power. And I chose the crit rate crit damage card because it's one of the strongest cards for my personal team because I need more crit rate and crit damage, and it just makes it a lot easier and faster to just beat the floor in a better time. The floor is constantly applying cryo at different intervals to your characters, and what that does is the effect of the cryo will just eat all your stamina. So as you can see, like I have no stamina like most of the time, so you have to get used to fighting without stamina. So having a character that has a shield is really recommended because then you can just tank all the damage and don't have to worry too much about how much damage you're taking. Also beware of using water characters like Barbara because then you'll just get frozen whenever the cryo is applied to your body. When it comes to this first half, I would suggest targeting the slimes whose shields are down because they're easier to kill and they're also really annoying because they keep producing a lot of like ice mist that just kills you slowly over time, actually pretty fast. But if you have a shield character, then you can just walk right through it, which is really nice. You don't want to completely ignore the Whopper Flowers though, because they take a lot of time to kill, so getting them out of the way as well is good. But making sure to focus the slimes overall is #1 priority. Try to listen to the sound cues, because even if you're not looking at an enemy, you can tell if they're about firing at you, and then you can make sure to dodge it effectively. Now you don't need characters like Bennett to beat this floor, but if you do have characters like Bennett, Xin, Yan, you know, this floor will be like 10 times easier for you. Oh yeah, good tip. Try to keep the Whopper flowers from charging up, because when they do the machine gun attack, it'll just lock you in place, and now that can just like completely annoy you and kill you and make you have to start over again. So once you kill all the Whopper flowers, then the middle troll will spawn, and then you can just focus all your attention on him. He's pretty easy to beat. So if you can, save your ultimates for floor 2, but if you have trouble beating the second half of floor 1, then use your ultimates just to burst through him so that your team 2 has more time to finish the fight. Or maybe you're just trying to get some primos for beating enough floors. So on the second half, we have my Kaching, who's carried by my Amber, and my Noelle, which is kind of hard to believe. But first we just go for the guy with the aura, which spawns an annoying flower that is the only thing that makes this floor hard. We use the elemental resistance. We almost die, but thankfully we're able to get out of there alive and not have to restart the floor. We get as much damage onto the slime as possible with the aura. And then after we deal with the slime with the aura, we're going to target the archer because he's also annoying, but he's not a big threat to us because we have Noelle's shield. And it's also a good time to just take the time to heal up the rest of the team. As you can see, main character is already back to full, and we don't have to really worry about anything because Amber can just melt through the slimes in like 2 hits with crits. And after you defeat the slime with the cryo aura, you're basically set free to sail and just defeat everyone else with ease until the next phase. So after you defeat the last slime, then a bunch of new enemies appear, and you want to find the one of the aura, which in this case is the Cryo Abyss Mage. You want to target him as fast as possible, get rid of him so he just can stop spawning the flowers. As you can see, I get caught in the flower, and then I decide to just stop moving just so I don't get hurt by it, or switch, because if you switch when you're inside the flower, then you're also going to take damage as well. So because I'm not in any rush to beat floor 12, I decided to just heal up and get all my characters to full for the next floor, just to make it easier on myself. And then also, if you have the patience, make sure to try and save your ultimates for the next floor as well. Currently the floor buff for floor 12 is fire buff, which makes Amber one of the strongest units on my team. It's probably going to change soon though, maybe in a few days or something. So we'll see like how hard the next floor 12 will be. We even got a star somehow. So Chamber 2 is the easiest of the 3 floors if you ask me. I had no real insane buffs, so I just decided to go with the first one I saw, the sprinting one. The Whopper flowers on this floor will always be attacking you, so just focus on all the archers because they're just going to attack your monolith, and it's just a game of tower defense. You just want to protect your monolith. And since there's no timer, you don't have to rush about how you kill things as long as you're getting rid of the archers fast. If you have a character like Venti, you know, Sucrose, someone that can just like do mass crowd control, you'll breeze through this floor in like 2 seconds flat. I'm actually kind of curious to see how this floor will be doing against Xiao when he comes out later. I want to see if he can just burst through it at lightning fast speed. And so since we're on the last Whopper flower, we don't really have to do anything, and since floor 3 is the hardest one, we'll just use Beto to get up our ults for the other ones, just to finish this a little faster, because it's a little tiring. And Beto should have her ult back soon anyway. So for the second half of this floor, I actually forget that there's a guy with an aura on this side, so I end up targeting the archers, thinking that they're the ones targeting the monolith, but instead it's actually the guy with the aura who's targeting the monolith. So you want to focus the guy with the aura again, and then make sure that he locks onto you instead of locking onto your monolith, because he'll do lots of damage to it. And if you get the slime to focus on you, then you can go after the archers instead, just so they don't accidentally hit your monolith.
That's more like it.
So after you kill the last archer, 3 new enemies will spawn, 2 of them aiming for the monolith being the archers. You want to go for the archers first so that they don't attack your monolith, because the other guy's just going to follow you the whole way around. I decided to use like my main character's animo power to target both of them and get rid of them as fast as possible, so I don't have to worry about them, and so I can just take on the big guy. After you kill him, you want to target the guy without the aura, because there's 2 enemies, both of them are really powerful, but one of them will target the monolith, and the one without that isn't targeting the monolith will completely shred it if you leave him alone. Since the one without the monolith will just follow you, I decide to just go and focus all my attention on the guy without it first, while also trying to like take care of the other guy's shield barely if he's in range. Be careful about the ice prisms spawning underneath your feet though, because they can really mess you up. Thanks to Amber, I'm just easily able to break his shield super quick. And then you just want to heal up with Noelle as quickly as possible, and then try not to hurt yourself further by either trying to heal too long and then getting hit by the prism, It's a good idea though to, unlike me, to try and save your ultimate for the next round just so you can beat it faster. So for the last floor, if there's a crit rate crit damage card, I would say take it, but because this day's floor just had defense HP, I know that my team doesn't really struggle with having attack power, so I decided to just go with defense just because I hate the second half of this. Thanks to having my ultimate stored up, it makes it a lot easier to lower down the health of the F2P members. Also, it doesn't matter what level the F2P you're facing is, just like having a character that can break their shield will just instantly make your life 10 times easier. For example, I brought Kaya just for this floor only. That's the only reason he's on my team. And it makes it so much easier to just get rid of both these guys with no effort. And since my Xingqiu has a burst artifact set, I can just burst right through the enemies like with tons of damage and elemental reactions. And then for the, just instantly, since he has like also a sacrificial sword which generates lots of energy, I can just get his ult back up in like 2 seconds flat. So for the second wave of the floor, you have an Anemo Boxer, and then you also have an Electro F2P. For me, it's a piece of cake for me to kill both of these guys, thanks to Beto just like counter punching his punches. And then the Electro debuff doesn't really affect us either, because it's really easy to kill him with Kaya, so I just get rid of the Anemo Boxer first, because I find him the most annoying, personally. And since the Electro Boxer is the last guy left standing, all we try and do is just make sure that he doesn't shield back up again, because then they'll eat up a bunch of our time. Also, when you get your ultimate, just pop it, because you're not trying to save anymore, you're just trying to beat him with the fastest time possible. So here we are, the hardest part of the abyss, the final floor. Make sure when you start this floor you have full stamina, because trust me, you're gonna need it. Also, there's a really annoying mechanic on this floor. The Wind Boxer will constantly raise any knockdown enemy that you knock down, so you want to kill him that first, so that he won't res the Ice F2P member, so you can just kill him with ease. And this is just one of the good things about bringing Amber to your team. You can attack them from range and avoid trying to accidentally hit the Anemo Boxer. Because if you do hit the Anemo Boxer, you might just end up getting punched in the face, like I did. If you look underneath my feet, you'll notice that there's ice circles appearing underneath my feet, and that's just showing where the pillars are going to drop because of the ice effect. And it's super annoying on this floor. You just want to try and dodge them as fast as possible. Don't stand in the circles. The thing that just makes it hard though is just not having any stamina. When their shields are down, it's the time to strike with as much force and power as you can, seeing as it's harder to get damage on them when their shields are up. So for the second part of the second phase, my goal is to focus the Geo Bishop because the other two will just come flying over here trying to protect him. And then this is also the floor where Animo main character is going to come in clutch to take care of the Electro Fatui because, like I said earlier, the floor has ice that applies to the floor. And as you can see, what I did was I used Animo main character's E to suck up all the ice that was on my character because the ice is applied from the floor to your characters, and I applied it to the enemy instead.
Disappear.
Nothing to be found. A mirror in front of me is where I find an empty glass reflecting the truth. It's everyone that's told. I need the mask. I'm a shapeshifter. Apples masquerade. Hiding no face in mind. Afraid for you to draw. I'm a shapeshifter. Chained up to my core. But don't take off my mask. My place to hide.
After the Geo Bishop is dead, I'd say the next biggest priority you could focus on is the Ice Fatui member. But if the Lightning Fatui member is lower, or if he's just closer, you know, sometimes you just go for whoever's closer. It's intuition. Thankfully, I was able to quickly switch out because I was getting a little greedy on like trying to just finish it fast. But thankfully, I was able to just switch her out, or else I'd have to start all over again.
I must leave no stone unturned.
And thanks to the Electro Boxer being the last guy left, this fight becomes way easier. The only way I can lose is if main character dies. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Down with floor 12. Free to play. Alright. it's probably gonna change in like 4 days or something.